My name is Jason Nolet, and I have responsibility for Brocade's data center switching and routing products, our campus switching products, as well as some of our automation technologies, which is really going to be the focus of the conversation today. I'm hoping that many of you who have attended Brocade events in the past or know a bit about Brocade's data center IP strategy know that our data center switching portfolio, the VDX portfolio, has always been first and foremost about delivering automation and delivering agility to the customer. Right? We've delivered that automation through embedded capabilities within the operating systems that run on the switches themselves to make that VDX network in the data center as plug and play as possible, to make it as simple as possible, to eliminate as much manual configuration as we can for all the reasons that you know that's a good thing. As we started to think about next generation automation, we started to think about the other investments that we've made around SDN, as you know, and an early and aggressive investor and innovator in SDN technology with the Open Daylight community and the things that we've done in terms of commercializing a controller. We started to think about what's the next frontier in automation, right? We've done some things that are really cool native to the fabric. We've done some things that are really cool with respect to SDN architectures. Kind of what's next? What's the next frontier? What's the next innovation and wave of technology that we think we can bring to bear for our customers in their pursuit of agility? As we started that pursuit, we established some principles that were very, very important to us and we believe to our customers. Principles around open technology, open source technology, open API technology. Principles around leveraging some best practices in the DevOps community and some of the technologies and methodologies that have been applied on the application side of the IT infrastructure, potentially now being able to be applied to the networking side of the infrastructure. Delivering an automation platform that is extensible and expandable, right? Rather than having one that's embedded entirely in the switch operating system, instead provide a componentized microservices framework off-box that would give customers a lot more flexibility in terms of how they choose to automate their infrastructure. And probably one of the most important things that we want to deliver on is the notion that automating just networking workflows isn't quite good enough. What customers really told us is that they want to automate workflows that are end-to-end. They want to include steps in a workflow that are part of the compute domain or part of the application domain or maybe part of the storage domain in addition to the network. Right? As much as we'd like to think that customers in the IT industry is entirely network-centric, that's actually not the case. In fact, they have lots of other things they do in the IT infrastructure when they look to automate a workflow. Right? The workflows typically don't begin or end in the network. The network's a key component. So this notion of cross-domain integration or cross-domain automation became very important to us as we thought about how we could deliver best-in-class automation capabilities for the network, but have that as easily and seamlessly integrate with other automation tools in the environment. So we had those principles. We set out and we said, okay, how are we going to do this? We're going to build something. We're going to buy something. We do a little bit of both. And we came across a very, very cool startup called Stackstorm. Stackstorm had been around a couple of years. We're doing some very innovative stuff in event-driven automation. And we took a hard look at the technology, we took a hard look at the team, and it took us very, very little time to conclude that, in fact, Stackstorm could be the foundation for our automation initiative going forward. And that automation initiative has been launched. It's called the Brocade Workflow Composer. Think about that as the commercialized version of the open source project known as Stackstorm. So that's going to be the subject for today's discussion. We're in the process of vetting that technology and that value proposition with lots of our customers, lots of our prospects. It's resonating very strongly. I think there's a great opportunity to help the networking teams get to the party with respect to things like DevOps and microservices architectures and being able to use kind of more modern tooling and techniques to automate the network as part of these end-to-end frameworks. So our vision really is to deliver an automation platform that, while starts in the network, doesn't end in the network. It integrates seamlessly with other parts of the automation infrastructure within an IT organization, that is largely based on open source technologies that we either consume as we build that commercialized product or that we open source as we innovate within the company organically, and one that addresses as much of the network automation lifecycle as possible, right? A lot of tools, a lot of companies spend a lot of time thinking about provisioning and standing up fabrics and standing up switches. We actually believe that troubleshooting, monitoring, remediation are where the real action is. And so a fair bit of our focus on leveraging this workflow composer platform is on building workflows that are focused on just that. How do we help the customer be better about monitoring? How do we troubleshoot failures when they occur? How do we remediate them as quickly as possible? So that's really the vision. It's about, as I said, leveraging a lot of more modern technologies and principles to deliver a much more agile automation strategy going forward. And I'll leave my comments at that because I know you guys have a full afternoon of technology to get into. So again, I'll thank you for being here. Thanks for those folks that are online. And let's get going.